Peace, family. It's Mr. Real Estate, Jay Morrison, and I've climbed my way out of poverty and prison to become a multi-millionaire real estate developer. But none of that matters now. It's all about my people. The black community needs unity, justice, and repair. So I moved my company from New York City all the way down to ATL so we can change the culture. It's the solution.
Peace, family. It's Jay Morrison, AKA Young Malcolm, and I want to thank you all for participating in our solution series and just really taking this journey with us on the first half of our series. This is our midway point. We have 7 more exclusive, cinematic, creative, really awesome and dope episodes to come. So I want you guys to stay tuned. What you guys got so far was just the appetizer. Our team's just getting warmed up. We put our creative hats on, and we just have some really compelling videos to share with the world. We want you guys to share with your audience as well, and share on your Twitters and Facebooks, etc. So we're really going to step it up a level internally in regards to our video production, video content, and messages that we give across in the series. But in this midway point, I want to give you guys a really quick snippet of the problem and the solution. So as we bring the solution to light using different video approaches, cinematic approaches, I want to just tell you flat out what the solution is and what the problem is. And so when you look at the condition of Africans in America and really the treatment of Africans throughout the world, we're going to focus on America right now. When you look at that condition, what you find are a couple things, right? So when we say we want to achieve, right, the solution is, as I write in my book titled The Solution, is how Africans in America achieve unity, justice, and repair. So let's talk about the unity piece. When you look at the conditions of African people in America, right, we don't look at each other as one global community, as one national community of people of African descent who were brought here, and not just brought here, but forcibly brought here, kidnapped literally, our ancestors, and then made to be enslaved through chattel enslavement here in America, right? And deprived of our humanity, of our culture, our names. Like, we're literally taking the names that we had, were literally taken away from us and replaced with European names and names of our slave masters and their children, right? So this is just the facts, right? So we're talking about the problem. And so what that did, as we were stripped of our nationality, so to speak, and our tribal roots and our country roots in Africa, we then have become divided here in America, right? So everyone wants an identity. Everybody wants to cling to something. So some of us cling to our religions, some of us cling to our sexual orientations, some of us cling to our skin colors, to our gang affiliations, our sorority or fraternity affiliations, with the West Side, East Side, right? What city you come from. We take more pride in our basketball teams and who's a Dallas Cowboys fan or a Lakers fan, or who comes from the West Side of Baltimore versus the East Side of Baltimore. And so we have divided ourselves amongst all these minuscule things and haven't looked at the macro picture that at the end of the day, we're all one community. We all are brothers, sisters, cousins, extended cousins. We are all one community of African descent, right? So no different than someone who may be a Dallas fan or be a New England Patriots fan or Atlanta Falcons fan who is of Italian descent. At the end of the day, they realize that they're Italian, or they realize that they're Japanese American, or they realize that they are Polish American or Greek, or they are Irish, right? They take pride, or Russian, they take pride in their nationality. Right, but because our nationality was stripped, we have a very difficult time taking pride in our nationality and viewing each other as brother and sister and as former countrymen or tribalsmen or continents of the continent of Africa of one descent. So that is why we're focusing on the unity piece, is how do we bring ourselves together, and the way in which we do that is to first recognize that we are all, right, no matter what religion, whether you're Hebrew Israelite or Moorish American or Muslim or Christian, no matter what religion, ideology you choose, we are still the original people of the earth, of African descent, and the people that were kidnapped from Africa and brought here, right? So that was our land, it was Africa. So therefore, we all have to unify around that one thing, that we are from the same place of the African diaspora and of one descent, right? So that helps to build our unity. How we accomplish that is by actually voting on our nationality in something that's called a plebiscite. So over the next year and a half, we have to convene with our leaders. I have to be the unifier and pull everybody together. That's my calling, to pull everybody together from our elders to our young leaders to different religious leaders. We have to pull everybody together, have a convening. We have to organize a Black Vote Day. for black people or Africans in America to vote on our own nationality, right? Not for one leader to dictate to us our nationality, but for us to vote on our nationality, and then for us to use that nationality as a mechanism, right, as a magnet to pull us all together and around one thing, to be unified. It means to be one. So we're going to pull each other together around our nationality, and then we can start getting to justice work, right? So when we talk about justice, we're talking about ending the oppression, ending the human rights violations, ending the genocide that's been committed against our people. And so for those of you who are not of African descent, and you think when we have these kind of talks, when you hear black people or people of African descent mentioning, complaining, if you want to call it that, or stating our case, speaking up about what we've been through, I need everyone else of other nationalities to put on your empathetic hat, all right? At least have some level of apathy or empathy for our people. And I need you guys to understand that what we're saying is real. No different than what the German Jews stated their trauma was from their 10-year or 12-year Holocaust was. Our 400 plus going on 500-year Holocaust was just as, if not more traumatic, right? Without comparing tragedies. But I think we can look at the 500 years of our oppression, enslavement, Jim Crow, and mass incarceration, and everything else that we've gone through. We can go down the list of unequal school systems and, right, and all the things that we can name as atrocities, right? We can get to a whole problem list, and I mentioned the top tragedies in every era of us being here in America, but now let's talk about the solution, right? So justice. So justice looks like not civil rights, but really establishing our human rights here in America as Africans in America. But we cannot get to human rights and put pressure on America and the government to treat us fairly through World Court if we are not a nationality ourselves, which is why the unity piece is so important. So then we get into justice. So justice is simply being fair, being honest, level playing field, holding the American government accountable for the acts that it committed through the CIA, FBI, and the school system, and every other, the prison system, and the judicial system, and the criminal justice system, and every other way. Everyone has to be held accountable for acts in which they were wronged or wronged others, especially in a very traumatic way. And so there has to be some redress for that. We can't just skip over it just because our skin is darker. I mean, there was redress for, again, the German Jews, for the Japanese Americans, for the Native Americans, and others in recent history who all got repair aid, restitution, reparation, if you want to call it that. But there has been no effort, and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. spoke about it, how the American government was giving millions of dollars away to farmers in the Midwest to help build them up, right, and help build their economy, but still wouldn't give or supply any kind of repair aid to the Africans in America, even after our enslavement, Jim Crow, lynchings, and all the things that you should know by now. And if you read my book, you'll see the laundry list, and there's so many more. I want to do like quick little, I call them lowlights, right, because they're not really highlights, but the lowlights that we faced during our enslavement era, Jim Crow era, and now this mass incarceration era, right? So that gets us justice, and then we get into our repair. So it's really important as Africans in America, right? It's really important that we look to repair ourselves. We are owed repair, but we cannot rely on someone else to repair us only without actually putting together repair curriculums, educational models, self-elevation, self-dignity, self-pride, and reinforcing these things so that we live better, act better, treat each other better, and are repaired people holistically. I'm talking about spiritually, I'm talking about socially, economically, etc. So it's a really robust problem that we face, so it has to be a really robust answer, a really robust solution. So this series is just to draw attention, give you action steps, give you some food for thought and things to think on about how Africans in America achieve unity, how we achieve justice, and how we achieve repair. And so I thank you guys for being a part of this series and going along for this ride. The goal is to make a better black community, to build a better black community, to build better Africanism in America and then Africans worldwide, to unite us, to uplift us, to restore just our sense of humanity that has been taken from us, but also to educate those from other nationalities or ethnicities or races, to educate you all on what our real experience is like and give you some food for thought, because as we all see this as a human problem and approach it as a human problem, we can help right the wrongs that have been committed, help uplift the people that have been broken, demoralized, dehumanized, and denationalized. We can help heal my people, and then we also can help heal and uplift the human race as a whole. But we gotta right our wrongs, and the only way to right our wrongs is to implement the solution. Peace.